Good morning, everyone. I'm just on the way back from my walk, and I was just thinking right now. I was just listening to an Audible, Gabrielle Bernstein, but I was just thinking about truth and how, because I was just thinking that she expresses her truth, and and I was just thinking about how truth can be a double-edged sword when you're giving it or receiving it. And and something else that I was just thinking about was how people really shy away from the truth, and even people that speak truth, though we also need it. Like, we're growing up in a world now, that we're all existing in a world now where you can't even see if a photo is real. Like, you can't even see if an image on our screen is real or whether it's AI, you know. And we've got to check these little boxes to make sure that we're not a robot and things like that. So we need truth. It's just 111, we need truth. And there's all these movies and things like that I don't know about you guys, but I'm finding it really hard to watch a lot of movies right now, because they're just so gimmicky. Like, they're just so, and what else can we do different, and what else can we twist it and deliver it back to them and things like that. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about truth right now, speaking and obviously receiving, because we're all starving for truth, and we forget the importance of it for our survival. We can't live in illusion, even though our ego would love that. It's just one of those things that we've got to embrace, really. And even when it comes to others, sorry, I just had a sip of my drink. Just spilled it. Maybe next year I'll learn how to drink out of a bottle. What was I just saying? Like, the truth can really set you free. Like, I'm talking on a soul level. It is needed, and we do need to speak our truth to our loved ones. Because, or even our enemies, or so-called people that have maybe moved away from and things like that. Like, there's still a level of truth sometimes that needs to be spoken. And sometimes when things are just popping back at you, then that's something, like when it's easy to put aside as well. You can. But when we pay attention to what our inner truth is actually trying to say to us, and what our soul is trying to say to us, then, it's just easier to operate in the world. It was just 333. And it's just easier when we clear these things, whether it be our partner, our parent, a sibling, a boss, whoever. Just by expressing our truth, we really, we show our personal integrity, but we clear things. We clear things from our soul that need to go. And look, guys, like, it actually is very important, because if we don't, that shit comes through. And I don't, I say that funnily as well, but that stuff comes through to another life, and if you think you don't like him in this life, well, guess what? You're gonna have to see him again. So it really is important, just to share our truth, even if it is just to let it go. Sometimes, like, it can be even just speaking a truth onto a piece of paper, or even just saying it into a memo and hearing it back, But still, like, why are we so afraid of speaking truth? You know, like even when it comes to, say, parents, for a perfect example. And yeah, we're sort of thinking something to say, and someone's like going, or yeah, like even to say to somebody else's, and they're like going, oh no, I couldn't say that. Like, and I'm like, why not? Why not? Like, why? Why are we so afraid? We talk about fucking everything and anything else. Why are we so afraid of speaking about truth and speaking about our essence and what is actually important to us and aligns with our values? Why is that so forbidden? Why is truth so taboo? That's what I want to know. And who makes it that way? You know, like even when, yeah, like I'm just going to go here for a little moment, but even when we talk about politicians and religion and things like that, to me, it can be still that veil of truth, where, yeah, like I'm sort of feeling like, say, for instance, if you've got a toxic partner, and they don't want you speaking to anybody else because they isolate you, because you know, if you start sharing things out loud, well, you might cross over with somebody else's views. I don't feel it is in case we argue. Like, it's not. It's this sham that has been delivered to us all and embedded in us all, because it's like a narcissist's greatest trick to isolate and to keep people away from outing what it is they're actually feeling or going through and things like that. And I feel, yeah, like obviously politicians do it, and I feel religion has done it to a certain degree as well. You know, like when we question things, when we question the question or things like that, then yeah, things can be revealed. And yeah, it's the same inside family dynamics or any, really, like where there is sort of some sort of narcissistic abuse, that they really do their best to keep things at bay to the point of even aggression. You know, they will go in for the throat, you know, to kill, for the kill, if it's looking like you're just about to reveal them, you know, basically. And yeah, put a chink in their armor or dent their image. So yeah, so anyways, guys, I just wanted to share this for now. I know this will be a little bit triggering, though. If we can't fight for our truth, what the fuck does that mean? That's scary. If we can't speak our truth, you know, like even last night I was actually thinking about writing and and speaking, and I sort of thought there's never been more of a time where we have been able to speak truth. And even though it's getting twisted, it really is, it's getting twisted. And yeah, you know, like if we don't fight for our truth, then, you know, like communism and things like that, like where they weren't even able to express truth inside their own homes. Like, imagine that. That's scary. Very fucking scary. So yeah. So anyways, I just want to leave this at this for now. And just to say, really, if you've got something that you need to say, like I just attended 2 funerals in the last couple of weeks, and look, a lot of this has come from that as well. That yeah, what happens when that person goes? What do you do with that emotion? Like, what do you do? Like, and look, I know we don't always get the luxury of saying it to whomever face to face and things like that, or would want to. Though, yeah, like what happens with that energy when they've left the earth and you no longer get the chance to express yourself to them? And it's happened to me 3 times now that I was waiting until I got a chance to, like we wait sometimes for these things that are actually huge, and then we run around for things that are so insignificant. And I really believe that it's part of the illusion that has been set up. I feel like it's like the Truman Show sometimes. Yeah, and if we're not careful, that will actually be our fucking experience, you know. So, yeah, we don't want to suppress truth. We want to speak truth. But again, like what I've said all along, we can speak our truth with love. And even with that, to like even now, like I've just come back from a walk and things like that, and I just spoke to my mum recently. It's just double one on the note of speaking truth. And yeah, look, my mum, you know, as much as it hurts me to say this, is like covert narcissist. And yeah, twists truth, twists words, you know, twists fucking sanity sometimes, you know, and other people's integrity. And yeah, like that's not okay. And so, yeah, the other week I just expressed myself in a message, though I made sure I had a stretch before I went, you know, sorry, I'm just thinking about going somewhere now. Before I spoke. And yeah, like it, yeah, like she hasn't responded, but that's okay. I'm okay with that because I have, you know, got that off my chest and I've cleared that. Because sometimes when we're under those circumstances, we do bite our tongues. Not only do we bite our tongues, we end up being on the back foot. So you're not even in your true expression and in your self of power. When you're around these people, like you're actually another version of yourself. You're actually, you know, and it's called something. It's called shape-shifting. Like we shape-shift for our protection. It's a protection mode. And yeah, though, then when you come back around yourself, what happens? Like you can even be feeling like we sort of think to ourselves sometimes, doesn't matter, it's their problem, it's their loss. Like I'm just going to be over here quietly, you know, forgive. But do we forgive? Like, do we actually forgive? Or do we just sit quieter with our rage, with our, you know, sadness, with our anger? You know, like, do we forgive? Or do we need to somehow release these things? Yeah, and like sometimes it is on the note of, look, and like we need to be careful too, because our ego can be a little bit self-righteous sometimes. And, you know, and that's like one thing that I actually do dislike about my mum. Though, yeah, like sometimes it's not always necessary, and you can just think, you know what, you do you. But when sometimes it's actually, and look, there is a thing called the smear campaign as well. So when you're talking that sort of side of things, it's a personal choice whether you want to go in and to bat for yourself and to clear your name, or you know what. But I just thought with this one, you know what, my mum is 70-year-old, and where some people would go, oh no, she's not going to change, love, like that's just her now, like, you know, so just put up and shut up, you know. And I'm like, why the fuck do I have to put up with that why does that squeaky wheel get oiled first? Like, it's not okay. Like, and sometimes when it layers and layers and layers and layers and layers and layers, you know, of putting yourself aside, you know, biting your tongue, benefit of the doubt, you know, yeah, shutting up, then sometimes it's not okay. And yeah, sometimes we really do need to get these things out and off our chest and cleared on a soul level. It's not even about conflict. It's not about conflict. Like, and I was so mindful with my words because I didn't want to start a fight. If I wanted to start a fight, I'd fucking ring her. Like, you know, like, it's not about that. It was just to rise above the situation in a way that felt true for me, because sometimes rising above is shutting up, you know, and like you know, and sometimes we have to be mindful even when you're accepting, you know, somebody else's truth and opinions, if it aligns with your own. Like when you've got somebody sort of saying, you know, just, you know, it's okay. But is it? You know, like sometimes, like I know, again, like I know a family very close to me that their brother committed suicide. And there was two brothers that never got a chance to speak to him again. And to be honest, one of the brothers fucking lied. He actually spun a story that was to do with drugs and lied to his wife and said it was his brother, like grown-ass man, you know, said that it was his brother that did that, whatever. And yeah, so not only, yeah, so she judged him and his character. And, you know, like that fucking worm is sleeping beside her. And not only that, like his brother ended up killing himself because it all just, you know, basically just felt betrayed. By it was other things as well. Though he's got to sit with that now for the rest of his life. And sometimes that is people's karma, you know, like, so I just think it is really necessary to speak our truth. And we don't have to run around, you know, sharing it with every Tom, Dick and Harry. I'm talking about things that are important to you and things that actually matter and people that matter and scenarios that matter. And your name matters. Like, but again, like we still don't have to run around, you know, like there still is like what's me call it, Mel Robbins, the let them theory. And look, they are two powerful words sitting beside each other, and I fucking do agree with it. I've actually got the Audible book and I'm really liking it. So I'm not quite done yet, but I'm really liking it. And then the power is let them, though, now let me. So letting me do whatever I feel needs to be done under those circumstances, whether I need to rise, whether I need to, you know, whatever the case may be, take back my power, speak truth. Yeah, like you can't change another person's opinion, though you can clarify some things. So anyways, I just want to leave that at that for now, because look, I know that it is a bit of a triggering topic, and even the word truth sometimes can feel like a bullet. Like, you know, people are like, oh, you know, so yeah. So yeah, and yeah, look, it's not a sentence. Like, I'm just thinking now, sometimes people are just waiting, some people, not all. Some people are just waiting to be offended sometimes. So look, there is that as well. Like, that's why, and like that was literally something that I said to my mum on the phone. I said, I couldn't ring you and talk to you like this because you wouldn't even let me. Like, I wouldn't even have been able to get out these words. So sometimes that just like a talk text is perfect. just to speak your truth, and even where you can have it as a little keep where they can reference back over it, or to just say it once and let it go poof, and if those people don't press on it to keep it, it will just go away. So it's sort of protected in that sense as well. But I don't know why we're so afraid of speaking our truth. And look, again, it's a society sham, that we've been groomed, that truth is scary. Truth is fucking a right and a liberation and freedom and personal power, and it's part of your story, it's part of your integrity. Truth is everything, so anyways, I'm just gonna leave it at this for now. So happy healing, and more to be shared.